Hi, and welcome to our very first episode of Theology and Ice Cream. Yummy! We don't have any ice cream though. Why do we call it Theology and Ice Cream?
I don't know.
I think we're going to get some ice cream.
Yeah, we're getting ice cream later.
Well, introduce yourself.
My name's
Vianne.
Rose.
Vianne Rose! What do you do, Vianne Rose?
Act like a crazy.
You act like a crazy. Does that pay well?
Yes.
It does pay well. That's the hope, right? I'm Patrick, and I teach theology at Fuller Seminary. What do you think of that?
I don't know.
Woo! You are crazy. I gotta keep my coffee away from you. I gotta have a big cup of coffee to keep up with this one. So, we're gonna have some questions, and this is what it's gonna be. We're gonna have a little theology. We're gonna have a little ice cream, and Vianne is going to ask me questions. And I have not heard these questions, so this is completely unscripted and unprepared. And we're gonna see how it goes.
Yeah.
Because if theology can't talk to a 7-year-old, what can it do? But before you ask me your questions, Vianne, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So, I teach theology at Fuller Seminary.
Yeah, I know that.
How would you describe what I do to one of your friends?
I don't even know what
You don't know what I do?
No.
What is theology? You don't know? Alright, that's fine. What do I spend my days doing? Work? Sitting in front of the computer?
Nah.
Recording videos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not all day.
Not all day. Reading sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a book coming out. Did you know that? Yeah, do you know the name of my book?
No.
It's called Hope for the Oppressor. Is that exciting? You want to talk about it when it comes out? You can do a book review?
No.
What book are you reading now?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Cool. Alright, well that's our introduction.
Harry Potter.
I teach theology. Vianne is a crazy. Together, we're father and daughter. And here is our first episode of
Theology and Ice Cream!
Theology and Ice Cream! Alright, Vianne.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. And you are going to ask me your first question. Question number 1. I have a PhD in systematic theology with a minor in church history. This is my profession, and this is the question from a 7-year-old.
Who was the first person to discover a book of the Bible?
Who was the first person to discover a book of the Bible? That's a really good question. Because did you know that the Bible wasn't written all at once?
No.
It was written over many, many centuries. So they had books of the Bible that were written a really long time ago, like 1,000 years before Jesus was born. And then they had some books of the Bible that were written a few decades after Jesus died. So we're talking the entire Bible took like 1,500 years, maybe not quite that long, to write.
Like 400 years.
No, a little bit longer than 400 years.
Like
So the first stories of the Bible weren't even written down. Probably they were shared, and people told each other stories because most people didn't know how to read, and so it was called an oral. They told the stories, and then eventually someone wrote them down, and so over the course of time they started writing them down, and they collected them in special documents and stored them in special places, and so. The books we have been stored and collected and passed down for thousands of years. That didn't really answer your question, though, did it?
No.
So the first person to
Discover a book
of the Bible So the first person to discover a book of the Bible was probably Moses. Because he's the one who God talked to and said, "Here is my law." And then from that became the center of what the Bible is, and developed from that. Do you know who Moses is?
Yeah.
Who's Moses? You didn't know I'd be asking you questions, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Who's Moses?
Did he do something special?
Yeah.
He saved the Jews. Good answer. Yeah. Good job. From
I forgot his name. What is
the Pharaoh. Yeah, and Egypt. Yeah. Okay.
And he killed one of his sons. God did.
The firstborn sons. Yeah. Because Pharaoh was being crabby and mean and didn't want to let the people go. Huh? So God kept having to be more and more strict. Yeah. So when God says to do something, we better do it, right?
Yeah, I found a way to make the Red Ocean.
The Red Sea?
Yeah. You take a bowl of water or something, and then you put red food coloring.
Okay. That's a good idea.
And then you get a stick and you put it in.
That's cool. Can you divide it? No. That takes a miracle, huh? Okay. Next question. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Next question.
Okay, this is similar to the other question.
All right.
But what was the first book found?
The first book found?
Yeah.
Probably the same. So we have Moses was given the law by God, and he was sort of collected the stories. So he probably found the first writings and then collected them, and then they were passed down. But did you know they were lost and then later found?
Next question. This is going to be so inspiring.
Okay.
I laughed about this when I read it.
Okay, we have 2 serious questions and 1 silly question.
Yeah.
I reserve the right to give a silly answer.
Yeah.
Okay. I need my sip of coffee. Okay.
Are Reese's Pieces yummy?
Reese's Pieces may be the yummiest of the candies. Do you know how yummy they are?
Yes.
They are so yummy that visitors from other planets come and enjoy Reese's Pieces. Did you know that? Extraterrestrials. Did you know that? That's how yummy they are. But do you know what's even yummier than Reese's Pieces?
No.
Ice cream!